Working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you can keep it going, keep it going. If you need to stop and have a little stretch, stop and stretch. Stop and rest whenever you need to. Usual props, the band or the strap, and then a ball or a cushion to use it for resistance and assistance. So if you're seated, finding your neutral alignment, so see if you can sit up a little bit straight. I'm encouraging the rib cage to lift away from the belly so that the diaphragm, the big breathing muscle inside the rib cage, can actually move freely to create that breath. If you're laying down, allowing yourself to relax onto the mat completely, letting the weight to sit on the mat, and then see if you can get the breathing going. Notice where you're breathing from. If you feel that the breath is coming from up here, so there's a kind of like a high apical breath. See if I can try and calm the breath down. So softening the throat, relaxing the chest, relaxing the neck. See if I can guide the breath down into the belly. Feeling the belly doming, feeling the belly raising on the inhalation. And then falling, relaxing on the exhalation. So it's a nice diaphragmatic breath, a nice calming, nice relaxed breath. And then at the same time, keeping the breath going, running a quick scan over the body. So noticing how the pressure feels. So if I'm seated, is the pressure the same between my right and my left seat bone? Am I straight? Am I slightly leaning to one side? Is my head centered? Is it slightly turned? If I'm laying down, how does the pressure feel at the back, between the shoulders, between the hips? Where are the arms? Where are the legs? I'm not trying to change anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with the session. As I start feeling the breath is a little bit calmer, it's a little bit more settled and relaxed, and then I'm going to start focusing on the shoulder girdle. I'm going to start shrugging the shoulders up to the head, bring them up to the ears, and then I'm going to press them down and away. So I'm going to shrug them up, and then I'm going to press them down. So if you think of your shoulder blades like two little cars that are running up and down your back. So I'm going to bring them to the shoulders and then push them down to the hips. Bring them to the shoulders and then push them down to the hips. Trying to maintain the chest nice and open. Making sure that the back is keeping nice and still. So just the scapula, just the shoulder blade is moving, is gliding up and down the back of the rib cage. 3, 2, 1, and release, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then from elevation, depression, I'm going to go into protraction, retraction. So this time, think of pulling the shoulders forward. So imagine it possible to bring the shoulders together at the front of the chest. So I'm going to pull them forward. And then in reverse, I'm going to squeeze them behind as if I was trying to get them to touch at the back. So I'm going to pull them forward. And then I'm going to squeeze them back. Pull them forward. And then squeeze them back. So in turn, trying to open up across the front of the body and then open up across the back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, a little bit more movement into the shoulder girdle. I'm going to start getting into the shoulder joint. So one arm at a time, I'm going to start bringing it up to the front, and then I'm going to take it as far up, if I'm laying down, as far back as I can. Then returning the arm back by the side, and then with the other arm, I'm going to do the same. So it could be a little movement, it could be a big movement. See if you can just focus on the shoulder and the neck. I want the neck to stay relaxed, the shoulder to keep it down. So I don't want to find myself suddenly with the shoulder strapped to my head, strapped to my ears. So see if I can keep the neck loose, keep the neck soft, and then comparing the movement between the right and the left side. So I might find that my right arm moves with a little bit more ease, or my left arm does. Playing with the position of the hand slightly. If you feel that the shoulder tends to click when I move the arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, and then changing the direction of the movement. Instead of going into a front raise, I'm going to go into a lateral raise. So this time, instead of reaching the arm in front of me, I'm going to swing the arm round the side and up, and then round the side and back down. Round the side, the other arm, and then back down again. So think of a nice wave with the arm. So whether I'm seated or lying down, see if I can make that wave as relaxed as possible. Same as I did on the front raise. The shoulder is down, the neck feels loose, it feels relaxed. So I'm not forcing, I'm not fighting the movement, I'm not stiffening to get the arm to move. 6. 5. 4, allowing the arm to swing slightly forward to the body line if I feel that the shoulder is a bit restricted. 2. Last one. And releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders and the upper body. It's a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint. I'm going to start focusing on the spine, starting from the neck, working the way down into the lower back. So I'm going to hold the shoulders nice and still, and then sit the head on top of the shoulder, straight and center the head. I'm going to start turning the head from one over to the other side. So looking around the right, and then turning to the left. Same as usual. Making sure that the movement is not causing pain. There is no tingling down the hands, into the arms. With the corner of the eye, look at the shoulders, making sure that as you're turning the head, the shoulder is not moving with the head. So I'm not turning my torso, I'm just turning the head on top of the neck. So the shoulders are keeping nice and still, and the head is moving. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And then easing back, returning the head back to the middle. I'm going to keep the rotation going, but this time I'm going to take it into the upper back. So I'm just going to press the hands onto the chest, bring the arms to the front, whichever it's easier. I'm going to hold the head still, and then I'm going to start rocking the shoulders gently from side to side. So turning them to the right, and then rocking to the left. Swinging to the right, and then swinging over to the left. So see if I can encourage that rotation a little bit further down the spine. So this time I'm going to hold the head fixed, and then just to turn the shoulders. So I can see the shoulders moving underneath the head. I can feel the shoulders rocking gently from side to side, easing off the tension, easing off the stiffness from the back of the rib cage in the middle of the back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And easing back, returning the shoulders back to the middle, adjusting the shoulders, and then this time I'm going to focus a little bit more on the lower back. So if you're lying down, I'm going to shuffle the feet and the knees nice and close together, allow the arms to open out to the side, and then I'm just going to start getting into a little hip roll. So this time I'm going to roll the legs over to one side, bring them back to the center, and then I'm going to roll them the other way. So nice and easy, rocking gently from one hip to the other, from one side to the other. If I'm seated on the seat bend, so I can't really move the hips. So I'm just going to try and see if I can move the legs. So with the right arm, I'm going to reach across to the left leg, and then pulling the leg to the right, I'm going to turn away. Then I'm going to ease back, left hand to the right leg, pull the leg to the left, and then I'm going to turn to the right. Coming back, and then twisting the other way. So see if I can still get some rotation going, a little movement going. Focusing it a little bit further down towards the hips. 3, inside, back to center, to the other side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And easing back, adjusting the hips, adjusting the shoulders, and then staying with the back, working from the bottom to the top. This time I'm going to start going into a little flexion extension. So focus on the lower back. I'm going to start going into a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. So I'm going to rock onto my tailbone, draw the belly in, and then I'm just going to tilt back. Then I'm going to come forward as if I was trying to rock forward onto the seat bones and pubic bone, and then bring myself back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt and release the tilt. So see if you can feel the movement down into the lumbar spine, down into the lower back, gentle rocking forward and back. If you're laying down, even easier as you've got the floor below you guiding you. So see if I can just tilt the pelvis back until I can feel the lower back touching the mat. And then I'm just going to rock back into neutral. So tilting and then coming back, tilting and then coming back. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and easing back. From the lumbar, we're going to move into the thoracic. So I'm going to draw back the shoulders. So if I'm lying down, think of the back of the rib cage lifting away from the mat. So I'm going to try and push it up to the ceiling, and then I'm going to press it into the floor. Lifting up to the ceiling and then press it into the floor. If I'm seated, this time, see if you can focus the attention, the intention into the upper back. So can I try and get movement into the upper back, holding the hips are nice and still. So I can feel the back rounding, and then I can feel the back extending and lifting. I can feel it rounding, and then I can feel it extending and lifting. So mobilizing a little bit more at the top of the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing. Releasing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, and then going back into the neck. So whether you're seated or lying down, think of the back of the head. So if my head was against the wall, what I want is tacking the chin towards the throat and then trying to lengthen the back of the neck. Then I'm going to release, and then again, I'm going to tuck the chin in and then release. So imagine to be giving yourself a double chin. I'm going to try and lengthen it through, and then I'm going to relax. Lengthen through and relax. So the movement is higher up into the spine this time. Again, if you're lying down, use the floor to guide you. Imagine it possible to get the back of your neck to touch the floor. And then I'm going to rock the head back into neutral. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Giving the head a gentle roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel stiff and doesn't feel tight. And then when you're ready, we're going to travel back down the spine, but this time working in lateral flexion. So starting from the head, I'm going to start moving the head side to side. So imagine to be taking your right ear to your right shoulder, and then your left ear to your left. So right ear to the right shoulder, left ear to the left. So again, whether I'm lying down or seated, see if I can create that gentle movement side to side, making sure that it's the ear that is trying to drop to the shoulder, not the shoulder that is trying to shrug up to the ear to the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and easing back. Bring the head back to the middle, and then taking the flexion down into the thoracic spine this time. So if you're laying down, you might want to support the head, so you're not dragging it along the floor. And then this time we're going to try and reach from side to side. So I'm going to take the head and the shoulders to the right, easing them back to the middle, and then I'm going to reach them down to the left, easing them back to the middle, down to the right, back to the middle, and then everything moves to the left. So feeling a gentle tension into the side of the belly, encouraging that pull that from one side, takes you back to the center, and then pulls you down the other way. Back to the center, and then pulls you down the other way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, and then working down into the base of the spine. This time we're going to go into a little hip hitch. So I'm going to hitch the right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage, and then hitch that left hip up. So if you're seated, imagine to be walking your seat bones up and down the chair. So I'm just trying to pull up on the right, back, pull up on the left, back, pull up on the right, pull up on the left, from side to side. Feeling the pelvis moving like a little pendulum, gently swinging from one to the other side. If I'm laying down, the back of the hips are still flat against the mat. I'm going to pull up on one side and then pull up on the other. So right side of the belly, trying to pull up on the right hip, left side of the belly, pulling up on the left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, adjusting the hips, resetting the hips back to the middle, and then I'm going to focus on the hip joint this time. We're going to start off with a little adduction, abduction. So I'm going to focus on my right leg first. I'm going to squeeze the right leg in. I'm going to press it towards the left, and then I'm going to pull it out and away. Open it to the side. I'm going to pull it in and then squeeze it towards the left, and then I'm going to pull it out to the right again. So think of a little wave with the leg. However big or small the wave is, it doesn't matter. If you're lying down, just to see if you can be aware of the leg moving into the hip socket, not the pelvis, kind of like a rocking side to side. So see if I can hold the pelvis still, use the belly to help me stabilize the hips while the leg is moving. Adductors, abductors, inside of the leg, side of the leg, to create that little movement to side to side. Same as usual. If I know that the leg is a little bit temperamental, or the movement feels particularly stiff going out or coming back in, I'm going to use my hand to guide it. So I might push it across gently, and then I'm going to pull it back out again. I'm going to pull it across gently, and then pull it back out again. I might need help pushing it out. So I'm just going to use the hand to help me guide the leg in the right direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, resetting the leg back to the middle. I'm going to try the same thing but on the left side. So I'm going to pull it across, trying to squeeze it towards the right leg, and then I'm going to open it out to the side. So squeezing across towards the right, and then opening to the left. So creating that little wave, the little swing with the leg, moving in and out, same as I did on the other side, guiding it with the hand if I feel that I need a little bit more help moving the leg. So encouraging the opening, and then encouraging the closing back. Encouraging the opening, and then the closing back. The hips are nice and still, so the pelvis is not rocking all over the floor. If I'm seated on the chair, I should be sitting on the seat bones, so the hips shouldn't be moving anyway. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. From abduction, I'm going to move into flexion. So I'm going to go up and down with the leg. So same as usual, if I know that the leg is a bit temperamental, so I can't control it very well, then I'm going to use the strap around the back of the leg. So I've got a little bit more control of it. I can get the movement to get the leg to lift and lower. So think of the front of the hip attempting to close and lift the foot off the ground, and then I'm going to return it back. So I'm going to try and pull up and then ease back down. Feeling the tension at the front of the hip and into the front of the belly, helping me to stabilize that lift. Using the arm to help me guide that leg if I feel that I need that guidance. If I'm on the mat, if I'm on the floor, exactly the same. If I've got control of the leg, I'm going to move it. If I need a little support for the leg, I'm going to strap it and then use the strap to help me guide the leg into the lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down, allowing the hip to relax, allowing the front of the belly, the arm to relax if I'm pulling with the arms to guide the leg. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the left side. So switching the strap around the left leg if you need the strap. And then I'm going to start focusing on that left hip. So feeling the front of the left hip twitching to close and pull the leg into that lift. And then I'm just going to ease it back down. The belly tensing to help me stabilize that lift. And then I'm going to ease it back. So same as I did on the right side. It doesn't matter if the lift is not very big, just to see if you can find the connection more than anything into the front of the hip. So see if I can feel the muscles at the front of the hips are kind of like a twitching, shortening, tensing to create that little pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs, and then from hip flexion we're going to go into hip extension. So I'm going to work the reverse. So if I'm sitting on the chair, I'm going to bring the feet maybe a little bit closer to the chair, and then leaning forward into the legs. I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum. See if I can get the hips to peel away, to pull away, to lift away from the mat, from the floor. So I'm going to try and imagine to be standing and then sitting back again. Imagine to be standing and then sitting back again. If you're lying down on the mat, we're going to bridge our way up. So pushing down into the soles of the feet, I'm going to drive my hips up into extension, and then I'm going to take them back down again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs, giving the legs a little walk, a little shake, making sure that the back of the leg, the front of the leg doesn't feel too stiff, but doesn't feel too tight. And then we're going to see if we can start coordinating upper and lower body together. So I'm going to go back into the knee lift. This time I'm going to combine the knee lift with the arm raise. So I'm going to allow the arms to relax down by the side. Imagine a string that goes from your right hand to your right knee, from your left hand to your left knee. I'm going to start pulling the string with my right arm. I'm going to take the arm up to the front, and then at the same time, I want the right leg to lift. Then I'm going to ease my way back, and then with the left arm, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to pull the string, get the left foot to pull away, and then I'm just going to ease it back down. So right arm pulls the right leg out, and then ease it back, left arm pulls the left leg. So as if you were puppeting the legs using your arms. So this time, if I can't use the band, as I can't use the strap, then I might find that the leg, the foot doesn't quite lift off the floor. It doesn't matter. So if you can again focus the intention, the attention into the front of the hip. Can I make the muscle at the front of the hip twitch? Can I make them connect? Can I make them work a little bit to at least trying to make the foot lighter on the floor before I release it back down? 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs. I'm going to try the same, but this time I'm going to change the combination. So imagine this time that the string goes from your right hand to your left leg, and then from your left arm to your right. So they're crossing over. So my right arm is going to pull up on my left leg, my left arm is going to pull up on my right. So I'm going to pull up with the right arm, see if I can get the left foot to lift, ease it back down. Pull up with my left arm, see if I can get the right foot to lift, and then ease it back down. 2, and then switch inside. 3, and swap. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs, little roll on the shoulders as well, making sure that the shoulder, the neck, it doesn't start feeling stiff, doesn't feel tight. And then I'm going to give a little stretch to the legs. So if you're lying down, allowing the soles of the feet to come together, and then let the knees open out to the side. If I'm seated, I'm going to walk the feet a little bit further away from each other, and then using the hands on the inside of the legs, I'm going to push the legs out as far as they'll go. So see if I can create a gentle stretch going onto the inside of the legs. Holding that stretch at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Bring the legs back in, bring the legs back together. Now see if I can stretch down the side of the hip this time. So if I'm seated, see if you can cross the right leg over the left. If I find that I can't do that, it's too much, then I'm just going to move the legs slightly to the left so that I can pull the leg across. And then with the left hand, I'm going to reach across that right leg and then pulling it across to see if I can create a gentle stretch coming down the side of the leg into the side of the hip. If you're lying down, I'm going to extend the right leg out of the way, pull up the left, extend the left leg out of the way, pull up the right, and then I'm going to bring it across until I can feel the stretch coming around the side of the hip, the side of the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back to the middle. I'm going to move my left out of the way, bring my right towards me, and then pulling across with the left arm. See if I can get the stretch down the side of the hip. If I'm seated, crossing the left leg over or pulling the legs over to the right to see if I can create that stretch. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Returning the legs back to the middle, and then see if I can get little stretch into the hamstring, into the back of the leg. So if you're laying down, use the band around the foot. I'm going to place the band around the right foot, and then I'm going to gently pull the leg towards me. If I'm seated, I'm going to try and straighten up the right leg in front of me, and then easing the body forward towards the right leg. See if I can create a gentle pull that comes down the back of the leg into the back of the knee, all the way to the back of the calf. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and bring the body to the leg. If I'm lying down, I'm going to try and bring the leg to the body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease in the tension. I'm going to switch side. So I'm going to place the band around the other foot, straightening up the leg, gently pulling it towards me until I can feel the stretch. If I'm seated, I'm going to straighten up the other leg, and then again using my weight forward, stretching the back of the other leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the legs, giving the legs a little walk, a little shake, opening up through the chest. I'm going to reach the hands by the side. If I can, I'm going to reach the hands behind. And then I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, sending the chest up and towards the ceiling, opening up across the front of the body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. You're lying down, rolling over onto one side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding a comfortable seated position, something that allows me to sit reasonably upright. So crossing, opening the legs, closing the legs, or sitting on a sofa, leaning against the wall, leaning against the sofa if I need to, using the arms to support if I feel that I need that support behind me. And then from there, we're going to start lifting. So I'm going to push the breastbone forward first, and then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look back as far as I can. And then I'm going to release and come forward, tucking the chin down to the chest, allowing the head to drop forward, the shoulders to round. I'm going to roll it down as far as I can. And then I'm going to uncurl all the way back up again. Pushing forward to the front of the chest, lifting it up and towards the ceiling. Shoulders back, shoulders down, extending your way up. And then releasing, letting the chin drop, the shoulders come forward. I'm going to roll my way down. Last time, trying to create as much lift as possible as you can. Pushing the chest forward, lifting up, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a front fold. Any question or